Curses have been recorded throughout history, dating back to biblical times. These curses are usually attributed to bad luck, but many of them make for very creepy videos. This is a list of the top 10 most famous curses. 10. Curse of Bambino. The Boston Red Sox's run of bad luck after trading Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees in 1920 is referred to as the Bambino Curse. The New York Yankees had never won a World Series before, and they hoped that Ruth would change that. He did. The Boston Red Sox did not win the World Series again until 2004 after the trade. A total lunar eclipse occurred during their winning game, a first for the World Series. The fact that the 2004 victory came against the New York Yankees added to the drama. 9. The Superman Curse. The Superman Curse refers to the misfortunes that have befallen those who have been involved in the Superman story over the years. George Reeves, who played Superman in the television series, and Christopher Reeve, who played the character in the early movies, are probably the most famous people to have allegedly suffered by this curse. Christopher Reeve became paralyzed after falling from his horse, and George Reeves committed suicide. Other victims frequently mentioned are Jerry Siegel and artist Joe Shuster, who created the character but made very little money from it, because their employer, DC Comics, owned all of the rights. Some even claim that Jerry and Joe cursed the character because they felt they were being paid unfairly for their work. As a result of this curse, many actors have refused to play Superman in the latest film. Paul Walker was one of these actors, which may have been for the best in his case, as he was more likely to kill the role than have the role kill him. 8. James Dean's Porsche. On September 30, 1955, at 5:45 p.m., film icon James Dean was killed in a car accident when his new Porsche Spyder, nicknamed Little Bastard, crashed head-on with another car. Dean's friend and mechanic, Rolf Wutherich, who had been riding with the movie star, was thrown from the Spyder and survived the crash, but Dean was pinned inside, his neck broken. The other car's driver, Donald Turnip Seed, suffered only minor injuries. George Barris, a master car customizer, purchased the wreck for $2,500 after the tragedy. The Porsche slipped and fell on one of the mechanics unloading it when it arrived at Barris' garage. Both of the mechanics' legs were broken in the accident. While Barris had negative feelings about the car when he first saw it, his suspicions were confirmed during a race on October 24, 1956, at the Pomona Fairgrounds. Troy McHenry and William Eschrid, both physicians, were racing cars that used parts from the Little Bastard. McHenry was killed when his car, which had the Porsche engine installed, spun out of control and collided with a tree. Eschrid's car overturned. Eschrid, who survived despite suffering serious injuries, later stated that the car suddenly locked up as he approached a curve. Accidents occurred in relation to the car until 1960, when it vanished. Its location is still unknown. 7. The Hope Diamond. The Hope Diamond, which dates back to 1642, is known for its exceptional color, size, clarity, beauty, and history. The diamond is set in a pendant surrounded by 16 white diamonds. The color of the Hope is a mix of blue, caused by boron, as in all blue diamonds, and gray diamonds. It is best known for bestowing great misfortune on its owner. According to legend, a man named Tavernier traveled to India and stole a large blue diamond from the forehead, or eye, of a statue of the Hindu goddess Sita. Tavernier was torn apart by wild dogs on a trip to Russia after selling the diamond for this transgression. The diamond was most famously owned by King Louis XVI, who was eventually beheaded alongside his wife Queen Marie Antoinette. The Smithsonian Institution eventually received it. The Hope Diamond is currently on display in the National Museum of Natural History as part of the National Gem and Mineral Collection. 6. The Billy Goat's Curse. The Curse of the Billy Goat is a baseball curse that began with the Chicago Cubs in 1945. According to legend, Billy Sianis, a Greek immigrant, had two $7.20 box seat tickets to Game 4 of the 1945 World Series between the Chicago Cubs and the Detroit Tigers and decided to bring his pet goat, Murphy, or Synovia. The goat was dressed in a blanket with the words, "We got Detroit's goat," pinned to it. Sianis and the goat were allowed into Wrigley Field and even paraded around the field before the game before ushers intervened and led them off. After a heated argument, Both Sianis and the goat were allowed to remain in the stadium, occupying the box seat. Sianis and the goat were ejected from the stadium before the game ended at the request of Cubs owner Philip Knight Wrigley due to the animal's offensive odor. Sianis was enraged because the Cubs organization had insulted his goat and allegedly cursed the Cubs with never winning another pennant or playing in a World Series at Wrigley Field again. After the Cubs lost Game 4 in the 1945 World Series, Sianis wrote to Wrigley from Greece, asking, "Who stinks now?" Following a third-place finish in the National League in 1946, the Cubs would spend the next 20 years in the league's second division. The spell came to an end in 1967, the year Leo Durocher took over as manager of the club. 5. Curse of Tippecanoe. In 1840, William Henry Harrison won the presidency with the campaign slogan "Tippecanoe and Tyler too." This is in reference to his involvement in the Battle of Tippecanoe in 1811. He died a year later. From then until Ronald Reagan's election in 1980, every president elected in a year ending in a 0 died while serving their term. This curse struck in the following years and presidents: 1840, W. Harrison, natural causes; 1860, Lincoln, shot; 1880, Garfield, shot; 1900, McKinley, shot; 1920, Harding, natural causes; 1940, F. Roosevelt, natural causes; and 1960, Kennedy, shot. An assassination attempt was made against Reagan, and if successful, he would have died before the end of his first term. 4. Björktorp runestone. This is one of several runestones discovered in Blekinge, Sweden, dating back to the 6th century AD. The stones can reach a height of 4.2 meters. Some stones form circles, while others stand alone. The inscription on the Björktorp stone is as follows: I, master of the runes, conceal here runes of power. Incessantly plagued by maleficence, doomed to insidious death, is he who breaks this monument. A prophecy of destruction. According to local legend, the curse was once tested and proven. A long time ago, a man desired to remove the stone in order to gain more land to cultivate. He piled wood around it to heat it up before cracking it with water. There was no wind and the weather was perfect. He had just lit the fire when a gust of wind shifted the direction of the flame, igniting the man's hair. He threw himself on the ground to put it out, but it spread to his clothes and he died in agony. However, the fire surrounding the runestone was extinguished as if an enormous hand had encircled the stone and extinguished it. 3. The Kennedy Curse. The Kennedy Curse is a collection of unfortunate events that have befallen the Kennedy family. While these events could have happened to any family, some have referred to the Kennedys' unending misfortune as a curse. Several Kennedys died when they were young, most notably brothers John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy, who were assassinated while in office, and John F. Kennedy, Jr., who died in a plane crash in 1999. Other members of the Kennedy family who have been cited as evidence of the curse include John F. Kennedy's sister, Rosemary, who was institutionalized as a result of an unnecessary lobotomy; Joseph Kennedy, who was killed during World War II; Edward Kennedy Jr., who had his leg amputated at the age of 12, and Michael Kennedy, who died in a skiing accident. 2. The 27 Club. The 27 Club, also known as the Forever 27 Club, refers to a group of influential rock and blues musicians who all died at the age of 27, sometimes under mysterious circumstances. The criteria used to include people in the 27 Club are subject to some debate. The death of an unusual number of 27-year-old prominent musicians within a 2-year period prompted the formation of the club. Lists frequently include Hendrix, Morrison, and Joplin, as well as Brian Jones. Kurt Cobain is now frequently included because of his impact on music in recent years. 1. Curse of King Tutankhamun. Tragic events occurred a few months after the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb. Lord Carnarvon, 57, the financial backer of the search for Tutankhamun's tomb, became ill and was airlifted to Cairo. He passed away a few days later. The precise cause of death was unknown, but it appeared to be an infection caused by an insect bite. According to legend, when he died, there was a brief power outage, and all the lights in Cairo went out. His son reported that his favorite dog howled and then died on his father's estate in England. Even stranger, When Tutankhamun's mummy was unwrapped in 1925, it was discovered to have a wound on the left cheek in the same location as the insect bite that killed Carnarvon. By 1929, 11 people associated with the tomb's discovery had died prematurely and from unnatural causes. Carnarvon's relatives included Carter's personal secretary, Richard Bethel, and Bethel's father, Lord Westbury. Westbury committed suicide by jumping from a building. He left behind a note that read, "I really cannot stand any more horrors and hardly see what good I am going to do here, so I am making my exit." That's it, folks. Thanks for watching.